At this time, I would like to bring up Upper Darby High School alumni, Damien Warsavage.
There we go. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
That's not loud enough. I said, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
That's a lot better. In case you all don't know me, my name is Damien, born Christopher, married as Warsavage. I am an alumni of the class of 2003, Upper Darby High, and I am 27 years old and a proud member of Save Upper Darby Arts. Now, I did have a speech all prepared. It was on my Android phone, but the sun is really, really horrible, so I'm just going to wing it from this point forward. Everyone at this point who has come to speak has done such a marvelous job being so eloquent, so beautiful with their words, so accurate with the figures, bringing to, yes, thanks to our well-rounded public education, in bringing to everyone's attention, not only the people who are gathered here, but the people who have been passing in and out of the building, how important it is to properly fund all parts of public education, not only in Upper Darby, but all over our state, as well as the nation. Because like other people have said, we cannot expect to be as competitive as we claim to be if our students are coming out less well-rounded than we did. Now, Upper Darby High School, all the middle schools, all the elementary schools that I went through have had a profound personal touch on my life. It's a surprise to me sometimes when I begin to think about it, what would have happened to me if it weren't for foreign language. Technology, not so much because I sucked at it, but especially the music program. And I mean, from even Aronimink, when they were still Miss Gauntlet, and they would have these, we didn't even have like a proper auditorium in Aronimink Elementary, and I still have this shirt. I'm obviously too fat for it now, but we would have these assemblies in the gym with Mr. Palace, and we would stand on the stage and we would sing all these inspirational songs about the Olympics, about what a wonderful world. And when there was still that, when I was still going through Upper Darby, there was still a pool program at the high school where they would bus kids every other Wednesday or something like that, teach you how to swim, and then we would do by the poolside song for like spring concert. And it brought out so many wonderful people to support all of our kids, all these wonderful people getting together to share in music. And for me personally, it brought me to a place that I didn't think I would find on my own, because I came from a background that was not entirely pleasant. I had a difficult upbringing, and not to put any of my parents down, but unfortunately my dad brought through to him from his childhood a difficult upbringing, brought it to me, and he was particularly abusive. He put me down, he put my siblings down. I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and he basically said I would not make anything of myself. He would put me down, tell me, there's no point in going through music. You're not gonna amount to anything. All these signs that I see, he would tell me, you know, it doesn't even matter, because you're nothing. And that definitely, to the mind of a 27-year-old, you're like, I know better. But to the mind of a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old who thinks so highly of their music teachers, their art teachers, means the world to them what those people say, and especially what their parents say. And going into middle school, specifically foreign language, there was a time that there was an incident at my house. And unfortunately, I got hurt by my own father. And it was something that I did not want to discuss with anyone, because as any survivor of abuse, because I consider myself a survivor, could tell you, it is very mortifying to admit that you were hurt, physically or mentally. And my foreign language teacher, Mrs. Blessington, in French, I would be the goof-off in class, but there was one day that I just wasn't myself, and she took me aside. She said, Damien, what's going on? And I refused to answer. No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say anything. She looked at my chest. She saw a little scar. She said, I didn't see that there yesterday. Where'd that come from? And I looked down. I couldn't look at her in the face. And I finally was able to admit to her that I was abused at my home. And soon after that, thanks to a foreign language teacher that would not have existed if these cuts went through 15 years ago, noticed what was happening. The proper authorities were called, and I was able to secure myself a better place for me as well as my mom and my siblings to protect myself and all of them from the abuse that I was experiencing, thanks to the actions, again, of a foreign language teacher that would not have existed if all these cuts went through. Bringing me to high school, things were a lot more pleasant. I was successful in music thanks to Mrs. Damien, who I hold in very, very high regard. And there's so many teachers like her in all different kinds of subjects that deserve that round of applause, but her in particular, she made an impact on my life. Aside from my mom and probably Hillary Clinton, she is one of the most favorite females to me in my life and definitely has been an inspiration. And during my junior year in high school, things took another unfortunate turn. I ended up finding myself homeless. And that was due in large part to my father. And even while I was homeless, right after district choir, and I ranked 4th in the area, found myself homeless, had enough room in a box to fit all of my stuff, all of my clothing. I would go to school, I would smell, wearing the same stuff. Wouldn't bring in my homework half the time because I had a hard enough time getting to school, let alone what I had to accomplish before I got there. And Mrs. Damien, currently she's a curriculum supervisor for music, as well as an actual teacher inside of Upper Darby High School. She took me aside and asked me again, just like Mrs. Bussington in middle school in Beverly Hills, said, Damien, what's wrong? This time, because I knew what was on the line, I told her everything. Told her everything that had ever happened to me. I poured my heart out to her. And she said, Damien, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but what I can tell you is the music program is going to keep you safe. And from that point forward, some things happened, but I ultimately ended up in a place where I was able to continue and finish out my junior year in high school, thanks in large part to the wonderful music program fostered at Upper Darby High School. Now when I hear, what's going on now with the cuts that are happening, federal level, state level, and then the blame that we want to place on the school district, the previous speaker was right, it does come down to us. We're ultimately responsible for the elected officials who get appointed to these positions of power, not for their own self-interest, not for special interests, but for our interests. And it's definitely something that we have to make sure that we hold them accountable for. Now, I'm not going to wait until I announce my candidacy for the school board and eventually run and win to change something, because I do plan on doing that. But we all have to do what we can right here, right now, to make an impact and to make a difference. And everyone that I see here, some of you I know by name, a lot of you I don't because I'm horrible with names. All the colorful signs, all the passion, all the energy, all the excitement. There could be 30 people here, there could be 3,000, there could be 300,000 people here. But this is the core group that's going to make things happen, and I'm so proud to be a member of this organization, this family, because that's what it is. Family doesn't have to be related by blood or through marriage or any of that garbage. It's a common feeling shared amongst a group of people, and that means so much to me. I gave up being a member of the Philadelphia Gay Men's Choir for 10 years to dedicate more time and more energy and more focus to everything that you guys are doing. And I've also thrown the support of my own Asian music festival, Karaoke Idol Invitational, that takes place in Philly twice a year, to support this cause as well. and I extend my hand in friendship and love to all of you. I thank you for welcoming me with open arms, and I can't wait to do more work to save Upper Darby Arts. Thank you.
Damien just brought up a very, very good point that needs to be made loud and clear, and I believe I said something about it earlier today. So many times we find ourselves in a position to send our schools. Now, people standing here have children that are fortunate enough that when they walk out the door in the morning, someone says, "I love you." For so many children, the only person they ever get to hear that from is their teacher. So what are we doing? Why on earth would we want to sever that relationship? Why does it come to this? And I think that you'll agree with me when I say that it doesn't. And we all have a choice. And you have all made a very valiant, very brave, very courageous choice to stand up for what's right. So thank you. Who are we?